Welcome back to Skytech-Lens. The green and yellow tractor isn't just a machine, it's a symbol of the American heartland and the grit of those who feed the world. John Deere, since 1837, has stood for innovation and reliability, a promise to generations of farmers. That leaping deer logo is more than branding, it's a seal of trust, seen in fields across the country. For many families, a John Deere tractor is an heirloom, a link to their heritage and land. The bond between farmer and machine is built on trust and shared purpose, forged over decades. But now, that connection is under strain as economic realities and global pressures challenge old traditions. The story of John Deere today is about tough choices, shifting loyalties, and the uncertain future of an American icon. Not long ago, the steady hum of John Deere's factories was the heartbeat of many Midwest towns. Today, that familiar sound has faded, replaced by an uneasy silence that echoes through empty assembly lines and deserted break rooms. For generations, these factories were more than just workplaces. They were the backbone of entire communities, providing not only jobs but a sense of purpose and pride. In 2024, the company announced the closure of several plants, cutting 600 jobs in Iowa and Illinois alone. The news hit hard, rippling through neighborhoods where nearly every family has a connection to Deere. Since 2020, almost 2,000 Iowans have lost their jobs at John Deere, a staggering number for small towns where every job counts. Each layoff is a story of uncertainty, of plans put on hold and dreams deferred. These aren't just statistics, they represent real people, families suddenly facing tough choices about their futures. The ripple effect is felt at kitchen tables, in school hallways, and on main streets. In these towns, a job at Deere once meant stability, a steady paycheck, and the promise of a good life. Now that sense of security is slipping away, leaving communities to grapple with what comes next. The pain isn't limited to workers. Sales of John Deere equipment have plunged, down 18% in the second quarter of 2024. Dealerships sit quiet, their lots filled with unsold tractors and combines. Profits have dropped by 35%, forcing the company to make tough decisions. Executives face mounting pressure to cut costs and find new ways to stay competitive in a changing global market. Meanwhile, farmers, the backbone of Deere's customer base, are feeling the squeeze. High interest rates and low crop prices have made it harder than ever to invest in new equipment, leading many to delay purchases or make do with aging machinery. As a result, inventories are piling up, creating backlogs and forcing further production cuts. The entire supply chain feels the strain, from factory floor to farm field. In search of lower costs, John Deere has announced plans to shift some manufacturing to Mexico by 2026. For many, this move signals a new era, one where the company's roots in the American Midwest are no longer a given. To American workers, the decision feels like a betrayal. Generations have built their lives around the promise of steady work at Deere, and now that promise seems to be slipping away. Despite the turmoil, John Deere still employs over 30,000 people in the U.S., a testament to its enduring presence. But for those facing layoffs, that number offers little comfort. For families suddenly without a paycheck, the future feels uncertain and the past bittersweet. The loss is more than financial, it's a blow to identity and community pride. This shift marks a fundamental change in the century-old contract between company and workforce, a contract built on loyalty, hard work, and mutual benefit. Now, communities are left to pick up the pieces, gathering in town halls and coffee shops to ask what the future holds as the ground shifts beneath them. The pain is real, the questions are many, and the answers are far from clear. For many, the only certainty is uncertainty itself. The challenge now, can John Deere adapt to a new era without losing the soul that made it an American icon? John Deere's job moves quickly caught the attention of President Trump, who threatened a 200% tariff on Deere equipment made in Mexico. The message, keep jobs in America or pay the price. For many, this stance is about economic patriotism and protecting American workers. But for Deere, it's a high-stakes dilemma, cut costs or face crippling tariffs. The debate pits shareholder value against responsibility to workers and communities. For those at risk of losing jobs, the president's intervention offers hope, but also new uncertainty. A trade war could ripple through the entire industry, with consequences for workers, farmers, and suppliers alike. Tariffs are already hitting John Deere hard, $100 million in a single quarter, with $500 million projected for the year. To cope, Deere is raising prices on 2026 models by up to 4%, pushing new equipment further out of reach for struggling farmers. Ironically, tariffs meant to protect American industry are hurting the very farmers Deere serves. Higher costs mean fewer sales, deepening the company's slump and forcing more tough decisions. Deere is lobbying for relief under the US-Mexico-Canada agreement, arguing its North American supply chain should be exempt. The reality protectionist policies in a global economy can backfire, hurting both manufacturers and their customers. The cycle of tariffs, price hikes, and falling demand is a knot that's hard to untangle. Both Deere and its customers are caught in the crossfire. The true cost of these changes isn't just measured in numbers or balance sheets. It's felt deeply in the everyday lives of workers and the fabric of their communities. When a factory gate closes, it's not just a building that goes quiet, but an entire way of life that's put at risk. In towns like Ottawa, a job at Deere was more than just employment. It was a ticket to the middle class, a source of pride, and a promise of stability for generations. Families built their lives around the steady hum of the factory, and the community thrived on the opportunities it provided. But when layoffs hit, the effects ripple outward. Local diners lose their regulars, small shops see fewer customers, and even schools feel the strain as families consider moving away. The heart of the town beats a little slower and uncertainty creeps into daily life. Lawmakers, feeling the pressure from their constituents, are now demanding that companies return tax credits if they cut jobs. This reflects a growing frustration and a sense that promises made to communities are being broken. For displaced workers, the path forward is filled with tough choices. Some must retrain for entirely new careers, others are forced to relocate, and many accept lower wages just to get by. All the while, families juggle bills, worry about the mortgage, and try to maintain hope in the face of so much uncertainty. The emotional toll is immense. Decades of loyalty and hard work can suddenly seem to count for little. Workers who once took pride in their jobs now face a future clouded by doubt, and the sense of loss is felt in every corner of the community. Factory closures leave scars that last for generations. The optimism that once defined these towns is replaced by a lingering sense of loss, and the spirit of the community is tested as families and neighbors struggle to adapt. Deere's strategic decisions may be necessary for the company's future, but for the people left behind, the immediate result is loss, instability, and a profound sense of uncertainty about what comes next. The green and yellow logo, once a proud symbol of prosperity and progress, now stands as a reminder of a painful transition, a chapter closing for many families. For countless families, the future feels more uncertain than ever, and the question of what comes next hangs heavy in the air. On the farm, economic pressures are forcing farmers to hold on to old machines longer than ever before. The days of trading up for the latest model every few years are gone for many. Instead, these aging tractors and harvesters are being pushed to their limits, year after year, as farmers try to stretch every dollar and make the most of what they already have. New equipment is simply out of reach for many, with prices soaring and profit margins shrinking. So, farmers are relying more than ever on their own mechanical know-how, spending long hours in the workshop, tinkering and troubleshooting, determined to keep their old machines running through another season. The demand for used equipment and spare parts has skyrocketed, turning rural supply stores and salvage yards into vital lifelines. But as more farmers compete for the same dwindling supply of parts, finding what's needed is becoming a daily struggle. Parts shortages can leave essential machines sitting idle at the worst possible times, during planting, harvest, or when weather windows are tight. Every lost hour can mean lost income, and the frustration is palpable. Local dealerships are overwhelmed with requests, and the wait for repairs or parts can stretch for weeks. Trust in the big manufacturers' service networks like Deere's is being tested as farmers feel left behind. In response, farmers are getting creative, scavenging parts from old machines, fabricating their own fixes, and leaning on neighbors for help. This spirit of cooperation and ingenuity is a testament to the resilience of rural communities. But everyone knows this patchwork approach can only go so far. Constant repairs and temporary fixes are no substitute for reliable, modern equipment. Today's agriculture demands precision, efficiency, and technology, qualities that old, worn-out machines simply can't deliver, no matter how skilled the operator. The struggle to keep these machines running is more than just a mechanical challenge. It's a sign of deeper strain across the industry as farmers grapple with rising costs, supply chain issues, and an uncertain future. From the factory floor to the fields, the entire agricultural ecosystem is feeling the pressure. Every link in the chain is being tested, and the cracks are starting to show. The question now is, how much longer can farmers keep making do and mending before something has to give? Amid layoffs and falling sales, John Deere has announced a $20 billion investment in its U.S. operations over the next decade. This is a bold move to modernize and expand its American manufacturing footprint. Projects include a new assembly line in Waterloo, Iowa, and expansions in Missouri, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Deere's strategy is to reinforce its core strengths while branching into new markets, all on U.S. soil. The company hopes this investment will rebuild trust and secure its future. It's a message to critics. Deere isn't abandoning America, it's doubling down. But can this massive bet offset the pain of recent layoffs and production shifts? The answer will shape the company's legacy. The stakes couldn't be higher. Beyond headlines, John Deere faces a hidden battle, a tangled global supply chain. Shortages of semiconductors and raw materials have delayed production by months, frustrating farmers and damaging Deere's reputation for reliability. To fight back, Deere has joined the Federal Flow Program to improve logistics and data sharing. The goal: track cargo, anticipate bottlenecks, and keep assembly lines moving. In today's world, manufacturing strength depends on mastering logistics as much as machinery. Deere's future hinges on building a resilient supply chain. Only then can it deliver on its promises to farmers. John Deere stands at a crossroads, balancing layoffs and reinvestment, global pressures and local loyalties. The central question: can it regain the trust of workers, communities, and farmers? For those who've lost jobs, trust will be hard-won. For farmers, only real improvements in service and reliability will restore faith. Deere's $20 billion investment is a bold step, but success depends on flawless execution. The company's journey mirrors the challenges facing all of American manufacturing. The green and yellow tractor remains a symbol of resilience, but its future is unwritten. The world is watching to see if John Deere can remain a trusted partner for the next generation. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more updates.